Friendship, the foundation of every single kind of relationship, whether it be business, whether it be siblings, whether it be just friends, lovers, etc., etc. When you are a friend with someone, you look out for their best well-being. They look out for yours mutually. Friendship, just like any other relationship, is one person giving 100%, the other person giving 100%, and that's what keeps your friendship and your bond tight, just like in every relationship. Friendship especially is important in dating. Why? Because if you have a friendship and a solid grounds to start your relationship on, then you always have that friendship to fall back on if you fall out of love or if things are not working well in the love realm of love. And what I mean by that is, like I talked about in my first video, every good relationship is a balance of two halves making a whole, spiritual and mental, and then physical. Those things come together, and that's how you get the whole ball of wax as far as a relationship. Just having a physical and spiritual relationship with somebody and they can't satisfy you sexually is not going to work. But just having a physical relationship with someone and them not being able to satisfy you mentally and spiritually is not going to work. So friendship, like I said, establishing that bond, again, back in my first video, is crucial in the beginning. When you date and you go out and you find out about each other's likes, dislikes, wants, needs, desires, dreams, and things like that, spending that time in person and on the phone, not texting, not through Facebook messaging, in person or on the phone, is how you develop those deep bonds. And those deep bonds will further that attraction that you already have with those people. And that's how that relationship goes to the next level of having meaningful and awesome sex. Because like I said, there's carnal sex, which you don't know anything about anyone. It's just about you. And then there's the awesome sex, which is the ultimate form of physical affection, expressing yourself physically to a person you have a bond with because you care about them. So you want them. So you put them ahead of your own selfish ass. You make them come out of their minds, and then they normally will turn around and do the same thing for you. Very simple thing. And it kind of goes back to, why would you want to have sex with a stranger? Because it really doesn't, like I said, to each their own. There are people out there who like that quick, simple high, and but it's not nowhere near as satisfying, that carnal high. I don't want to get off too much of the subject. The subject is friendship. Friendship in a relationship is everything. When you become friends with someone, you know who they are. When things are in the beginning, initial stages of the relationship, you don't really know a lot about a person. But when you become friends with them, you start to learn a lot. The closer you get, once you guys have been physically intimate, do they snore? Do they brush their teeth? Do they keep their house clean when you're crashing at their place and they're hosting? Or when you're hosting and you're crashing at their place? You guys get to see how each other lives, how you take care of your house, how you take care of yourself, your belongings, things like that. So having a friendship before you get further into a romantic relationship is key and important. And that will, if you want to go to the next level of like marriage and a long-term relationship, those are telltale signs. People who have tried to skip that, unfortunately, have miserably failed many, many times. Just doing basically, like I said, a carnal, romantic, boom, hot sweat, awesome sex, don't really know too much about each other, haven't really bonded, too much friendship, let's get married, chemical love at first sight, kind of adrenaline going, we fuck each other's brains out all the time, it's got to be great. And then years later down the road, I don't know who you are. I didn't know you were this kind of person. And wow, we're exact opposites. You want to stay home and be a couch potato. I'm Mr. Ambition and I want to go out and rule the world. And guess what? We're not growing together. We're growing apart. And that's how it happens. So friendship, again, is the key foundation. Every awesome, meaningful relationship I've ever had in my life has come from a female friend, a friend of mine. Either we started off as friends and then we became romantic, or we started dating, became friends, and then became romantic, or were romantic while we were developing our friendship. And I've even had to go the other way, where I've had female friends of mine who were just female friends, and then we became intimate. So like a friends with benefits kind of thing. We had sex, we fucked each other's brains out, and then we retreated back to our friendship because our friendship was so strong. You can do that if you have good communication and there's no games and everyone talks and everything's on the table. It's when people play games and they're not honest with each other and they don't communicate how they feel about each other to each other, and that's when the problem happens. So I want to share a few stories for you guys of something that's personally frustrated the crap out of me in my life, and some of you probably can relate to this and some of you can't. So I've always had a lot of female friends. God has... Oh, my phone is all the way over there, and I can't shut it off. So apologize for the loud ringtone during the middle of my recording, but it's just going to have to play because I'm not going to get up and try to get that while it's ringing. And anyway, friendship with some of my female friends, they wanted to take it to the next level, but they never let me know. So, of course, this comes out years later, either when I was already dating someone else or when they got married or later on when they found out that I was married and they reveal it to me 20 years, past the time that, hey, I used to have a crush on you. Didn't you know? No, actually, I didn't. Why didn't you tell me about it? And it's funny. I think within the last 5 years, thanks to social media, I've had at least 10 or more female friends of mine from high school and just out of high school that I'd been friends with for a very long period of time that came out and told me that they wanted something more romantic with me. And they hinted at it, but I didn't catch their hint. So I'm not Mr. Oblivious. Now, other people might say that I am, but when it comes to my female friends, I'm a gentleman. What I mean by that is I would never take advantage of our friendship and try to do more than that's there. They would have to express to me directly and in a very forward manner that they wanted more than friendship for me to be able to pick up on it. So I'll give you some examples and you guys can be the judge of whether I'm oblivious or they just were not obvious enough. So one of my friends, who's probably going to watch this and laugh when I tell her name was Sunflower, because she was blonde, hair, beautiful green eyes, gorgeous woman, really good friends. We've known each other since we were like 16, still good friends to this day, although she has been distant for a while because she's got some things going on that she wants to sort out for herself. And just remember, I'm still here for you whenever you decide to stop being stubborn, and part of being a friend is let your friends be there for you. Remember that, ass. Anyway, so Sunflower had a relationship with a guy she was in love with. Her and the guy broke up. She called me one night. It was Super Bowl Sunday. I went and I picked her up, took her out. We had dinner, we had drinks, had a great time. We went out dancing after that. We go back to my apartment. When you walk in my bedroom door, my bed was all the way back up against the wall. So I brushed my teeth, got ready for bed, changed, whatever. I lay closest to the wall. So I'm sitting there. She's standing here by my door where my closet is, says, hey, do you have a shirt that I can wear to go to bed with? And I was like, sure. I got some right there in my closet. Just open up, pick whichever one you want. So, of course, she does. And she starts unbuttoning her blouse right in front of me. So, of course, I, as a gentleman, do what? I turn over towards the wall and don't look at her. But we're still talking. So she changes, puts the shirt on, goes to sleep, and I never turned back. I said goodnight, and that was it. I went to sleep. So let's fast forward to, I don't even know, 20 plus years later. She tells me, I really wish you'd not been such a gentleman. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, remember that night you picked me up and we went out and we hung out and I was really upset about blah, blah, blah. And we went out and drinking. We had a great time. I was like, yeah. She's like, well, when I went to go change into the shirt, I was unbuttoning it and I was looking at you to give you a hint that, hey, I wanted you. And I said, okay, that's assholery at its finest, because I would never do that. A, my friend is emotionally unstable because she just broke up, a guy just broke up with her that she was in love with. B, we've been drinking. C, I was taking you out to comfort you. And D, I had no fucking idea. So don't fault me for that. A obvious maneuver would have been for her to climb in the bed and drape her leg over me, kiss the back of my neck, blow into my ear, nibble my ear, grab my ass, something like that. That would have been obvious. I don't think I was being blatantly not picking up on it, but I don't think that was something. It's not in my character to do that, and it would have been wrong, and that would have been a dick move on my part. So I can't be blamed for that one. I'll give you a second one. I'm sitting there in my apartment one night, late at night. This was back in the day when there was pagers. One of my friends, we'll call her Lily, texted me in the middle of the night. It's like 1 a.m, emergency, 911, this, that. So I call her back. I was like, what's going on? Everything okay? She lives all the way out in Alexandria and I'm in Fairfax, which is like an hour and a half drive. She's like, yeah, I need you to come over here. I got to talk to you. It's really important. I was like, okay. So I hurry up, get dressed, drive a gazillion miles per hour, get over to her house. I knock on her apartment door. I was like, what's going on? She jumps on me like a piggyback, but to the front, and is trying to kiss me. And I'm laughing, and I smell alcohol. And I'm like, what are you doing? Calm down. And I take her in her apartment and I close the door behind me and I set her on the couch. And I was like, what are you doing? She jumps up, and she's little, 5'3", 110 pounds, and tackles me. I'm 6 foot, 260 pounds, and I fall back on her couch. And I'm laying on my back, and she's like pinning my hands down, like trying to kiss me all over my face and my neck. I'm like, what are you doing, Lily? This is not you, and I don't know what's going on. You called me over here for an emergency. And she stops dead, and she looks at me very seriously, and she goes, what's wrong with me? And I said, what are you talking about? She goes, what the fuck is wrong with me? She goes, your handsome, high yellow ass can't fucking look at me. And I'm over here. You're always coming over my house, hanging out with me. We've been good friends for years. We slept in the same bed. Not once have you ever tried to fuck me. I'm at fault here? I'm the bad guy because I've been a good friend and haven't tried to make a pass at my friend? So I say, I don't understand. She's like, what? And she starts crying. What, am I too ugly? Am I not good as some of those other girls? Blah, blah, blah. You guys have to understand. This is a girl who I've talked to and helped coach with her boyfriends. And I've talked to her about my girlfriends, the girls I was dating. And we were very, very close. We hung out all the time. We were very, very close friends. And she's faulting me because I never tried to do anything beyond our friendship. Well, back then, we didn't have a word for the friend zone, but I guess she was in it. And as are all my female friends, because I'm a gentleman and I'm a man of character. So once that is there, unless it's discussed, I don't look at them that way. So she beat me up badly for that and was really upset at me. And, I felt bad. So I did something I probably shouldn't have done. And I gave into it, and I kind of slept with her out of sympathy that night, and it was cool, but I was embarrassing. I woke up in the middle of the night, I felt bad, and I left like a dumbass, and I probably shouldn't have done that, and I guess she was too embarrassed the next day because our long and close friendship was over. She didn't call me again, and that was it, and wouldn't answer my calls. I think I embarrassed her, but I panicked when I woke up in the middle of the night, and looking back on her, I wish I had stayed and talked to her the next day, but she never gave me a chance, and lessons learned in life, sometimes how you lose friends. But that friendship wasn't one that didn't have to be lost, because we could have talked about it and everything would have been cool and went right back to where we were. But there was embarrassment rather than communication. So that's just how that went. Yet another one who her and I were good friends, we'll call her Dahlia. Dahlia and I hung out all the time. We did a lot of the similar things together. We hung out. We were good friends. She was single. I was single. Same thing. We talked about when she dated somebody, we talked about it. When I dated someone, we talked about it. Same thing. No obvious signs of anything. And just recently, we reconnected on Facebook. She's married. She has 3 kids. Her husband, she's very much in love, and with her husband and has awesome 3 kids. And she just casually mentions to me one day in a message, she's like, did you know that I used to be like in love with you in high school? And I was like, no. And she's like, yeah, I was like so enamored with you. And I used to have the biggest crush on you and all this other stuff. And I was like, well, why didn't you say anything to me? She's like, I don't know. So why do women do that? Why do they tell you later? It's just, it's really funny. But anyway, so guys, just so you know, there might be some of your female friends out there that have more feelings for you so pay careful attention, but don't be the dick or the asshole. There's a reason for friend zone. It's a mutual respect thing. But ladies, don't do that stuff to dudes like me and like other guys in your life. If you have feelings for them or you want to explore taking it to the next level, just let them know. Be serious about it. Be succinct. Just say, hey, look, we're already great friends, so it can only get better from here. What do you think about it? One of my friends actually is going to do that this weekend with one of her male friends who expressed to her last weekend that he would like to take it to the next level. And they're going to have that serious conversation tonight because she wants to set those rules of engagement. They already like each other as friends and they're very much physically attracted to each other and they want to sleep with each other basically. So, it's time to have that conversation. We're adults. It's not a big deal. They don't want to date each other. They just want to sleep with each other. There's nothing wrong with expressing. It doesn't have to be in love to express love to your friend and through physical satisfaction. Who else to have good sex with than a friend? It's fine, but be adults about it. Discuss it. Say, so no, there's no hard feelings. I told her, tell him if you're not interested in dating him after this, don't sleep with him and tell him later, hey, by the way, I was just doing that because I had an itch I wanted to scratch and I'm attracted to you, and vice versa. Tell the person and be respectful, have good communication, be honest, and that's it. Last thing I want to leave with, if someone breaks up with you and it's not a good fit, don't go back asking why. Don't think you are not good enough. Do not think that it's because of something you might have done. Sometimes people are just not a good fit. They can't even put their fingers on why they don't feel like you're the right person for them romantically. Don't beat yourself up. Don't ask questions that you really don't want to know the answers to as to why. Because sometimes it's nothing to do with what you did. It's just who you are and it's who they are. And it wasn't a good fit. For you to move forward, just take that. If they're saying they're willing to be a friend to you and they don't want anything romantic, cut it off. Take that at what it is and be happy that you're still in their life as a friend, because that friendship is better than not having them in your life at all. Don't be selfish. If they've expressed that to you, don't keep throwing yourself at them and ruining that friendship and destroying something that could have been a wonderful friendship that could last for years and years because you're being selfish. Yes, unrequited love sucks. It's one of the worst things to have in the world. But at the same time, sometimes it's just not a good fit. I'll leave you with one last example. One of my exes, we'll call her Carnation. Gorgeous girl, 5'3", blonde, full C, small waist, smoking body, fitness model. She was a very smart girl as far as working out was concerned. And she was a very sweet girl, had a big heart and things like that. Like I said, I was in phenomenal condition. I was still competing in bodybuilding. And one day I came over to her house after work, and it was like a 2-hour discussion because she still lived with her parents. We were both young at the time. And I was sitting in my car in front of her house, and I was telling her, all these things that happened at work with some of my employees. I was a manager of a rental car company at the time. And she sat there really sweet the whole time, rubbing my hand, looking at me intently in my eyes and stuff. And at the end I said, well, Carnation, what do you feel about, what I've told you today? I need your input. Crickets. Her eyes were just blank, like nothing was there. So she did what she always does, which is be very sweet and physical. So she started just trying to kiss me and rub my hand, rub my face, rub my chest to comfort me, because that's what she had to offer. I said, no, I don't want that. That's cool. I appreciate it. But I want to know what you thought about it. And I looked in her eyes and it was blank. The girl, nothing. She had nothing there intellectually. And all this time I had been so caught up in the physical part and the fact that she was just very sweet that I missed it. She was not on the same level mentally and intelligently as I wanted her to be, where I needed her to be, to have deep, meaningful conversations. And I knew right there the relationship was over. My friends ridiculed me. Well, how could you break up with that girl? She was beautiful. She looked like a mini Pam Anderson, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, guys, there's more to it than just physical beauty and good sex. It has to be that mental and spiritual part. We were great friends because we were great activity partners. We worked out together. We had good sex. We always went out and did a lot of outdoor activities, but we really didn't talk a lot. And now it came down to it, and I saw, and it was missing, and it wasn't enough for me. So it just wasn't a good fit. And that's what I told her. You don't want to insult someone and say, hey, guess what? You're not as smart as me, and you're not intellectually deep, and so I'm going to break up with you. You don't want to hurt anyone that you care about. And some things to ponder, people. Friendship, number 1. 2, be honest if you want to take it beyond friendship. 3, if people want to go, remember it's 100 and 100. If someone wants to go, let them go. That's it. You cannot keep chasing after them. You're never going to win that race, and they're going to push you away, and eventually you won't have anything. So have a good weekend, folks. Thanks again. This is your boy BBC signing off. Till next.